That's right, these are 10 cliched movie lines that I'm pretty sick of, and frankly I hope I don't hear any variation of them within the next year or so of movies. Unfortunately, that's probably not going to be a possibility since a lot of originality and creativity in Hollywood and beyond has been thoroughly tapped. Nevertheless, here we go, starting off with an honorable mention. Woo! Now the reason this is an honorable mention is because it's not so much an actual movie line as it is just the sound people make. You know, that point where either they're over the top in love with somebody, or an adrenaline rush just kicks in and they're doing something badass and daredevil-y, or something extremely dangerous where honestly your first inclination wouldn't be to go woo, it would be to go oh my god, I don't want to die. How much more fun would it be if a total badass like Vin Diesel, when he takes his car and shoots it right out of a building and rides along the side of the building, instead of just going woo, he says something along the lines of Mommy! Seriously, how can I invest in characters who don't give a crap that their lives are in constant jeopardy? Or how about people in romantic comedies that fall in love and the first thing they utter as soon as they realize they're in love with somebody is woo! And they're all like happy and go lucky, jumping up and down the streets. People think they're lunatics like Tom Cruise. Does anyone in real life ever do that? Say you go on a very successful date and get a goodnight kiss at the door and there are prospects for a future romance there. Is your first inclination to go woo? Or is it more to go like, alright, things are looking up. I won't be alone anymore. So seriously, honorable mention mainly just because it's an exclamation as opposed to an actual phrase. Hopefully 2017 in movies we have way less woo. We're not so different, you and I. Everyone, from Bond villains to super villains to, I don't know, romantic adversaries in comedies. Everyone says this line at some point or another, or some variation having to compare themselves to the protagonist. We get it, writers, we're not that dumb. There's good and bad in everybody. We know this already. We don't need the characters to tell us this. It would just be so refreshing if maybe instead of we're not so different, you and I, Spider-Man and the Green Goblin kind of looked at each other and said, huh, one of those days, huh? That way we get that they're relating on some kind of level without having to be into full-blown Shakespeare. So yes, we get it. In this day and age, complex heroes and villains have quite a few similarities. They don't need to tell us that they have quite a few similarities. People always fear what they don't understand. Yes, it is something we all have to kind of come to grips with at some point in our lives. Again, do we need to be told this parable over and over? Whether it's Professor X constantly reminding the X-Men why people are so mad at them for some reason. Might have something to do with throwing the whole Earth's gravity out of sorts thanks to your magnetic powers, buddy. Or whether it's some Gotham gangster giving Bruce Wayne his inspiration to become Batman. I'm tired of constantly being reminded that there's stuff out there I don't get and I should be scared shitless by it. Maybe tout it up a little bit more. Instead of saying, people always fear what they don't understand, you should just say, yep, scary shit's out there. Deal. We've got company. Again, this kind of goes hand in hand with the woo comment earlier. Aren't you getting a little sick of all your badasses saying that? Wouldn't you rather just have them say a quick, here they come, and then just start panicking or mowing down enemies? Or better yet, don't say anything at all. Express more with your eyes, with your emotions, with your face. Yeah, no shit, you've got company. That's typically what happens when you're in the middle of a firefight. Suit up. Saddle up. Lock and load! Come on, we can put a little bit more variety into our catchphrases than that. When Talladega Nights first came out, I sincerely thought action movies would start incorporating shake and bake. Boy, was I kind of let down by that. There's a darkness inside all of us. Wow, really? That's news to me. Again, with the heroes and villains comparing and contrasting themselves, this kind of falls into that category of, this is something we don't really need to be explained to us. I think if anything, the past year has proven that, of course, there's a little bit of darkness inside everybody. There are no real saints, and anyone who we thought was a saint, we're slowly finding out were assholes right behind closed doors. This might have gone over way better decades prior with movies dealing with absolute goods and evils. But now that we've gotten into a little bit more complex storytelling, can we please just let go of this cliched line? there's a storm coming. Your definition of a storm is pretty broad. Alien invasion? Storm. Life-threatening, world-ending plague? Storm. Zombie apocalypse? Storm. The return of Satan? Storm. Our hero coming to terms with the loss of his mother? Storm! Can we please stop tying in conflicts with weather? Because I'm almost always predicting that the following phrase after a storm is coming usually happens to be, we best be ready for it. I'm sorely tempted to bring in my movie cliche bingo next time I go to a movie screening. I guarantee you someone's gonna win within the first 10 minutes. Psst. Guys. Did you know that people keep secrets for a reason? I didn't, so I'm so glad every character in movies is telling me that people keep secrets for reasons. Here's a good rule of thumb for you, not just in movies, but in life in general. Just assume everyone's keeping some kind of secret. That way it can go without saying that people are keeping secrets for a reason. As much as I would like to look for the good in everybody, for your own safety, just assume that there's sometimes secretive intentions out there behind people's actions. Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. Honestly, do you realize how aggravating it is when you hear a character say that in a movie and then the following scene they're perfectly fine and have no marks on them? I think your first response to getting hit wouldn't be that's gonna leave a mark. I think your first response would be, "Ah!" or I didn't know what love was until I met you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever tried this line in real life and it's gotten you laid or engaged or anything, please let me know below. I have yet to see this actually work in the wild. You know this line, you know some variation of it. It's the line that every romantic couple in every rom-com says to each other right after their third act breakup. It's what they reconnect on, the vaguest, most hallmarky bullshit imaginable. Honestly, the only romantic comedy I've seen in recent memory that's done a fairly decent job on this kinda sorta premise was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet are looking at each other, they acknowledge that they've fucked up in the past, and they're probably gonna fuck up later on down the line. But do they say, I never really knew what love was until I met you? No! It's stupid. They simply say, okay. Okay, that's all you gotta leave it at. It's simple, yet profound at the same time. It gives you a happy ending somewhat, but leaves it wide open and ambiguous, which is more thought-provoking. But I get it, some of you need some feel-good lines here and there, so sure. I didn't know what love was until I met you. But I guess you gotta say it with a little bit more conviction than that, otherwise you get a slap in the face. Or a skull. We're not in Kansas anymore. Can we please put a moratorium on this line, America? We're not in Kansas anymore. Yeah. Hey, you know who else is not in Kansas anymore? Everybody. I look forward to all your comments and messages saying you are in fact in Kansas and to fuck off, yeah. But seriously, this is a line going way back to the Wizard of Oz. I think it's earned its rest, don't you? I knew as soon as I heard the bad guy in Avatar say, we're not in Kansas anymore, that I was gonna hate this movie. All-encompassing 3D and everything. Forget that. Your bad guy just said you're not in Kansas anymore. How much more two-dimensional, cliched, and repetitive can your storytelling be, James Cameron? So above all of these movie line cliches, I feel the one that needs to rest in peace the most is from one of the sweetest movies imaginable. Because they're utilizing that line to exemplify how badass movies are now. As much as I hope, I know I'm not gonna get any respite from these lines. I guarantee you some variation of them is gonna show up in the next cinematic fare of 2017. Are there any movie cliches or movie lines that you've heard that you're kind of sick of? Let me know below in the comments. And hey, speaking of cliched lines, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Ciao!